So first of all, thank you for talking to ET Infra. We are here with you to discuss about the Namami Gange program and how the UP government has worked in that sphere. So, if I'm not wrong, the Uttar Pradesh has surpassed the national average in providing tap water connections.
Yes.
It was, I think, 72 over 72%, which is the target in 2024. But they have already achieved that target. Am I correct, sir?
Yes, you are right. The national average is 72%, and we are presently 74%.
Okay. So, could you tell us more how you achieved that target? First of all, you had kept this target for 2024. What made you achieve it beforehand, and what were the challenges that you faced?
See, the primarily when we started, we were only 1.95% of the rural households had been covered by the tap water, and
Hmm.
at that time the national average was around 50%, 50%. So we started from a very small background, very little background, starting. Then whatever we had to do, we had to plan very thoroughly for this thing. The first thing is for anything, for if you have to achieve something, you have to plan thoroughly, then you have to implement, and a continuous monitoring required. That is, in very broad terms, you can say that planning, implementation, and monitoring is key fact. And all the components, the hardware component, soft component, the involvement of all stakeholders and community participation and inclusive approach, we should reach to all those hamlets which are left out, which belong to the lower, um, which belong to the underprivileged sections of society, and to involve women, especially in the rural area, and to involve children also, and the school children and the teachers also into this program. This we have achieved, and the total strategy may be that may be some time taking, but I may say in short that we started with a robust planning. Firstly, we had to see for the, you see, in UP we don't have a uniform. It's a very vast area, geographical area, so it's vast territory. There are several different zones, geological zones, you can say, and for that thing, the planning in different zones has to be different. For example, in Bundelkhand and Vindhya area of UP, the availability of groundwater has been extremely scarce, very rare, and especially in the summer seasons or whenever then the availability of groundwater was not there. And so people had to bring, the lady especially of the family, they had to bring water from far away, and this was a problematic issue for the education of girl children also, and health issues also, and they had to spend so much of time. So Bundelkhand we didn't have sufficient groundwater. Then in rest of the UP, especially, there are some districts which had some quality issue of arsenic, fluoride, or other elements in the groundwater. So though we had some good groundwater available over there, but there were quality issue. And in almost 80% of the state, yes, we had good quality groundwater available with us. And
So, when you say about Bundelkhand region, now that you've said that there is water, so does it mean that they have uninterrupted water, or do they have tap connections where they get water only at certain intervals of time?
see, the entire scheme is about providing in the rural area. The entire scheme is about providing water in for a particular time period in a day. We don't get 24/7. We don't commit, and we don't. This is not our intention to provide 24/7. We have to
Hmm.
provide 55 liters per capita per day water to every household, and for that thing, 2 to 4 hours supply per day in every village. That is sufficient. That we are doing.
2 to 4 hours. So you scatter those 2 to 4 hours during the day.
No. No, for every village there is a roster basically. In one village, say this will be 7 to 10 a.m. and other village there will be 8 to 11 a.m. Just like this thing.
So you have covered so in Bundelkhand you have covered 90% of the home is what you
Yes, we have
is the
covered.
stat.
Since in Bundelkhand the issue has been that groundwater was not available properly. So firstly, for every zone we had to see the availability of source, where from where we can get a perennial water supply, and perennial also the sustainable and perennial water supply in sufficient quantity. So
So
in
if
yeah.
groundwater was the challenge, how did you overcome that?
Yeah, so that is the issue. So basically, in Bundelkhand, we found that there are two rivers, Yamuna and Betwa, and then there are in two of the Bundelkhand districts, we have some reservoirs, dams and reservoirs where sufficient water is being stored. So after doing a feasibility survey, we found that most of the Bundelkhand places can be covered by taking water for rivers from the surface water basically, and in some of the districts taken from dams where it is a big
Okay.
dams where sufficient water is available. In dams, we have to take care that not more than 10% of the reservoir capacity we should take into our account, because if we have to
Hmm.
ensure the sufficient water has to be there. Similarly, for rivers also, not more than 10% of its discharge should be going over there. So for that thing, we plan properly for all the districts.
And another thing that you have to ensure as a supplier is that not just supplying water or supply of water to those villages, supplying potable drinking water or supplying water which is fit for use, fit for drinking. How do you ensure that?
Yeah, the basic thing is that the first thing is that we take the water from the river. We have to raise the water level. Basically, in Bundelkhand, the average level that is much above the river level, basically. So we have to raise the water for at some places up to 300 meters or 400 meters. After raising the water, we have to make an intake. From intake, we take the water from the river, we store there. Then the water is being treated in the water treatment plants. They are WTP, water treatment plants. After treatment, water goes to the different places in like a hub and spoke model. Basically, now this is going in the spokes, and so at a cluster of villages, there are clear water reservoirs, CWRs. So from WTP, the water shall be going to CWR. In CWRs, again this be treated. This shall be treated, and from CWR, this shall be going to individual villages. Then and in the villages, they will be supplied
Okay.
at the village basically.
Okay. That is how it is being done. And sir, in terms of in the Nal Se Jal is the central government's initiatives also. Um, the government is making efforts to ensure that that this scheme actually reaches the UP hamlets as well. In terms of implementation of this scheme, what are the challenges that you're currently facing, and what is the target for 2024?
See, the target, we had kept a target for 2024, we had kept a target of 74-75%, that we already achieved basically. So we are now
Right.
ahead of that thing.
Are
So
you
what,
going to revise that target now,
and not
since you have
now,
already achieved?
yeah, not now basically, because whatever is happening, we are trying to do as much as possible before election. So that's the main thing. The challenges which have been still there were some challenges that we have overcome, and some challenges have been continuing since the beginning and shall continue till the implementation of the scheme is over. One of the biggest challenges has been the capacity constraint. Basically, capacity of our
Okay.
government employees also, our engineers also, and the capacity of the
Hmm.
vendors also.
Hmm.
For example, our
Hmm.
department engineers, they were not accustomed. Our capacity was normally we were doing a work of almost 1,000 crore rupees per year. Now, if we have to do a work of 50,000 crore rupees per year, so the capacity has to be increased. The government, so
Hmm.
the increase of capacity in the government system, this was a big challenge for our implementation engineers and implementation agency. Similarly, also for the implementing vendors also, like the private partners in the contractors which are presently available in India. Their capacity is also limited, and the
Hmm.
program is parallelly going on in every state in the India. So this has been a major challenge and it's a really difficult thing, but we have been successful into overcoming that challenge by just
So when
continuing.
you say that manpower is a challenge, are you planning to like, let's say, hire more people, create more jobs for this mission, even if they are contractual jobs or semi-permanent jobs or temporary jobs? Since there is need for resources, are you looking at employing more people? And if yes, then what is the number?
Yeah, exactly. That we have done basically. That is one of the major steps to overcome our capacity restraint basically. And we have hired a large number of engineers. We have hired almost. We already had some 1,000 engineers available with us. In addition to that thing, some 2,500 more engineers we have hired on contract basis or outsource basis for implementation of the.
Okay.
So they are already supporting us. Similarly, our private partners also, like private companies like L&T or Nagarjuna or Mega or all these companies, big company, they have
Hmm.
also hired additional. Presently, almost some 3 lakh persons are working in the state on all the projects.
How are these private companies involved in this mission? How are
They
they?
are our contractors for implementation of the scheme.
Okay.
The construction part, that the hardware part, for that thing, they are our contractors. We have to go for a open bidding. In the bidding, they have come for different places. So they are the contractors who have come to this place for the after the competitive bidding process.
So when you say that the contractor, they are the turnkey contractors for these projects. How do they function? What exactly is their work? What exactly is their work
This is the
for those
basically
projects?
EPC. This is EPC mode, engineering, procurement, and
EPC mode.
yes.
Okay.
So on that made they are, but the at the unique thing in UP has been that see earlier what has happened in some cases schemes for being completed by some contractors, but after that the operation and maintenance could not be done properly by
Hmm.
because the local body are not presently they are not properly trained for that thing. We have to do some handholding for them for that thing. That will take some
Okay.
time. So operation and maintenance has been a big issue. So in UP, we had taken a conscious decision that for 10 years after completion
Hmm.
of the
Hmm.
same contractor who had constructed the project, they shall
Hmm.
be operating and maintaining the scheme. So
Okay.
they shall be maintaining because they have constructed this thing.
Okay. So all these contractors now they are building and maintaining it for the next 10 years.
Yes.
So while bidding, they keep those factors in mind.
Yes.
And so you also the focus you already said that the focus has shifted to Agra, Mathura, and Firozabad for water supply improvement, and that should be done by December. I wanted to ask about the strategy. How do you strategize the entire implementation of this scheme? Do you go hamlet by hamlet, district, or do you select a few cities first hand and then take it to other places? How does that strategy work?
Good question, Meghaji. Basically, city we don't take. We are not doing city. We are doing only the rural area.
Hmm.
Secondly,
No, I'm
district.
just saying in district, cities, in, I
Now,
mean districts.
now on the on you can say on macro scale,
Hmm.
firstly what we are doing, we divided the state into zones. The Bundelkhand and
Hmm.
Vindhya region has been the most difficult region, so that were taken in the first phase, and now the Bundelkhand Vindhya is almost on the verge of completion. In the second phase, the quality affected and the areas where the water is easily available and good quality also in UP that were taken. In the last
Hmm.
phase, Agra, Firozabad, Mathura, and Balia and Unnao, in these five districts, the groundwater was available, but the quality has been affected by arsenic, fluoride, or some other thing. So we have to take some surface water for these districts. So these are the phases of the implementation. On macro basis, we are doing this thing, but in micro basis, because your question is that how we take
Hmm.
what has been the implementation study in the
Yeah,
district. So
yeah,
once
yeah.
we start in the district, basically the entire district, all the villages, including all the hamlets, they are tender, and whatever the bidder comes, the successful bidder, they have to start the work for entire district at once. For entire district, we may have one or two intakes of water, one or two water treatment plants for the district, depending on the
Okay.
circumstances. Then, but from that one or two intake of WTP, we should be going to all the required clear water reservoirs, which may be 30,
Hmm.
40, 50 in a district, and then from there to every village. So all these works have to be done in parallel. The agency, see if they have to complete their work in a year or two, all the components, intake, WTP, CWR, in village supply and overhead tank, everything has to be done in parallel only. So we have to, every contractor has to deploy manpower at several places, so additional manpower. That's why almost 4 lakh persons are working in UP.
And by when do you see the completion of this scheme in
December
UP?
24, we shall be completing everything.
Every.
The most of the area, Bundelkhand Wind, we shall be completing by this February itself also. In Bundelkhand Wind, most of the things have been completed also. So whatever remains, that we shall be completing by February. Bundelkhand Wind, the remaining we shall also be completing by March or April. The Agra and Firozabad Mathura, this we shall be completing by December 24. One more thing, involvement of community participation. We have done some good innovations also. Okay, हमने regarding the community participation, involvement of all stakeholders, that is a very important component of this thing. So what that thing, we have deployed NGOs in every village. Also, in addition to that thing, we have selected plumbers with electricians also. We have got them trained because the scheme shall be taken after the completion. They have to do the work basically. So plumbers, electricians also, they have been trained in a very large number. Almost 1,20,000 plumbers have been trained. Then in every village, there is a village water sanitation committee, and that is functioning properly in all the villages. And there are, for every village, the testing of water has to be done. We have trained 5 women per village, almost 5 lakh women we have trained in the entire state for testing of water. They have been provided kit, and for every testing, they are being provided some money also for that thing. So now in every village, there is a group consisting of these NGOs, plumbers, Village Water Sanitation Committee and 5 lady, and there is a very good integration. They are working in uh, a monolithic form now. They are not only doing all these activity, but they are also generating awareness regarding the water conservation and all such concepts also. And in there are some unique features that we have taken into UP model. One of these features has been, as I told you, that we are the vendor who is constructing, he shall be maintaining for 10 years. The second thing is that in groundwater schemes, which covers almost 80% of UP, all of these schemes are run by solar panels. There are no electric connection to that thing. So for that thing, we have deployed a capacity of 950 megawatts in UP for only that thing. And that is part of the project. The project is not only cheaper also, but the operation maintenance also becomes cheaper. And
Where is this project, sir? 900 megawatts, you said?
see all the for all the villages which are covered by the groundwater schemes. I told you that
Hmm. Hmm.
80% of the villages are covered by groundwater scheme. For
Right.
every groundwater scheme, there should no electric connection taken. Only the solar panels shall be. We have taken. They are solar based schemes. All of these schemes.
Okay.
For them, the solar panels have been installed, and so the total capacity of all these villages combined comes out to be, so the capacity combined is 900 megawatt for all these. So solar, so that is also saving some carbon footprints also. So environment friendly also. You might have heard about COP28 recently. So we are helping to that thing also, and that helps us also because we don't have, because non-payment of electricity bills is the major reason for failure of the scheme. So electricity should be taken. In UP, we have a very good sunlight for almost 330, 340 days of a year. So solar panels will be a good success over here. The second thing is we have ensured that the money should not be a problem. There is online electronic MB and online payments also. Whenever a contractor completes his work, he uploads his MB electronically, and within 7 days, the payment are being given. So this is something, because if we have to run such a big scheme, we have to complete in time. We have to do all this. This is mainly these are the things. And for quality assurance, we are doing something. And thank you.
Right, sir. Thank you so much for sharing this insight with ET Infra. Thank you so much.